basic concepts MCQ. We'll start from the first question. Question number 1. Production in units 100 and 200. Production overhead 200 rupees for 100 units, 400 rupees for 200 units. Admin overhead 500. Whereas selling overhead 200 and 300. The first question, nature of production overhead is what? It's purely based on what? Definition of fixed or variable or semi-variable cost. Yeah. Now listen here. With respect to definition, what about the character of variable cost? Variable cost means total cost will change, whereas per unit cost remain constant. Total cost will change, whereas per unit cost remains same. Am I right? Whereas fixed cost means total cost varies depending upon volume of production, whereas per unit cost remain. The total cost remain constant irrespective of the level of production, whereas per unit cost varies. Am I right? But per unit cost keep on changes mean that costs are called per unit cost remain constant means variable cost. Per unit cost keep on changes mean fixed cost. Total cost remain constant means total cost varies according to volume of production means variable cost. Costs which are partly fixed in nature and partly variable natures are called semi-variable cost. So based on the same, production overhead, with respect to production overhead, how much the production overhead? 200 and 400. Depending upon the volume of production, number of unit of production, cost is also varies. Therefore, that costs are called what? Variable cost. Therefore, answer for the production overhead is what? Variable cost. Any doubts? Okay. Next. Take the above problem. Find nature of administrative overhead. Am I right? With respect to admin expenses, 500 and 500. Irrespective of the volume of production to remain constant, mean that costs are called fixed cost. Therefore, administration expenses comes under one fixed in nature. Answer is fixed cost. Are you comfortable? Okay. Then, with respect to selling overhead, question number 3. Selling overhead for 100 units, 200 means for 200 units supposed to be 400. Am I right? Therefore, it's not proportionately varies. Both 100 units and 200 units cost remains same, 200 rupees or 300 rupees, then it's called fixed cost. Therefore, selling expenses neither fully fixed nor fully variable. Therefore, that comes under one semi-variable cost. So, answer for the third one is one semi-variable cost, because partly fixed in nature and partly variable in nature. Then, take the above problem, find variable cost per unit of the production overhead. What about the variable cost per unit? For 200 units, for 100 units, 200 rupees mean per unit cost comes to 200 divided by 100 is equal to 2 rupees, the variable cost per unit. Is that right? Yes. So option A. Then, what are the next one? Take the above problem, find variable cost per unit of selling expenses with the selling overhead. With respect to selling overhead, partly fixed and partly variable. Am I right? Selling expenses comes under what? Partly fixed and partly variable. That is nothing but semi-variable cost. With respect to semi-variable cost, formula for variable cost per unit is equal to change in cost divided by change in number of units. What is the formula for variable cost per unit? Change in cost divided by change in number of units. Are you with me or not? Therefore, formula based on variable cost per unit is equal to change in cost divided by change in number of units. Change in cost comes to how much? Change in cost from one option to another option, 200, 300, 100. Change in number of unit, 100 and 200 comes to 100. Therefore, 100 by 100 is equal to 1 rupee is a variable cost per unit.